I shrink the entire universe into a glass sphere and hide it on the counter. No one knew that inside this globe was the afterimage of a higher dimensional creator god. 3 years ago, I'm still someone who gets humiliated by my boss, a corporate drone betrayed by his girlfriend. Until that annual meeting, I unlocked the ability to scale everything. And the first test subject, it's the boss's endlessly chattering mouth. At this time, I looked at the boss on stage pointing at me and humiliating me, feeling angry inside. Your mouth is too big and noisy, make it smaller. At that very moment, the thought flashed through his mind. I suddenly felt a surge of heat in my right palm. It was as if he had gripped an invisible knob. Instinctively, I twisted hard to the left. Then, a strange scene unfolded. It's like a low-quality photo editing software suddenly getting a bug. The boss's wide-open mouth, in full view. Suddenly, contraction begins. Eventually, it became the size of a mung bean. The originally loud voice instantly turned into a sharp, piercing whistle. The audience was dead and silent. I stared blankly at my right hand. The burning sensation in his palm was fading. Instead, there's an unprecedented sense of control. I glanced at President Zhao. If the mouth is small, what about anything else? I looked at the microphone in his hand. He gently pinched the void with his finger. The boss held a heavy wireless microphone. It instantly shrank to the size of an ear pick. With a ding, it fell to the ground, rolling into the gaps of the stage. The silence in the audience lasted for 3 seconds. A massive riot soon erupted. The crowd swarmed forward. The scene descended into chaos. I slowly lowered my head. He looked at his own hands. Then he looked at a peanut on the table. Become bigger. I thought to myself. His right hand twisted right in the void. That peanut instantly swelled. It became the size of a fist. Giant peanuts. I suddenly grabbed the giant peanut. Stuff it into your pocket. My heart was racing. It's not magic. It is a miracle. I immediately hid in a stall in the mall's restroom. I gained superpowers. An ability to freely control the size of an object. To verify that this is not a hallucination caused by schizophrenia, I glanced at a small advertisement on the bathroom door. Spent a lot of money to seek a child. Shrink. I pinched the air toward that phone number. That string of black numbers seemed to come alive. It instantly shrank to a tiny black dot. Finally, it completely disappeared on the sticker. Magnify. I pointed at the doorknob again. The metal door handle made a tooth-chilling cracking sound. It expanded at a speed visible to the naked eye. The door lock structure was completely overwhelmed. It's true. It's true. I looked at my own hands. The corners of his mouth couldn't help but start to lift. At this moment, the phone vibrated. It was a voice request from his ex-girlfriend. I took a deep breath. He pressed the answer button. Su Ming, where did you die? His ex-girlfriend's sharp voice came through the receiver. There was also a frivolous male laugh in the background. Did you see the photo I just sent you? That was Brother Lee's new car. Porsche. Do you know how big Porsche wheels are? It's 3 times bigger than the wheels of your old electric bike. Only then did I remember the photo my girlfriend sent me at the start of the annual party. Then Brother Lee chimed in from the side. Oops, baby. Stop wasting time talking to such losers. Tell him to quickly take away what was left with you. Occupy space. Did you hear that? My ex-girlfriend snorted. Before 8 o'clock tonight, come downstairs at my place and take away your junk. Otherwise, I'll just throw in the trash. Also, remember to transfer the breakup fee to me. After all, I wasted 2 years of my youth with you. Oh, my phone. His gaze gradually turned cold. I've heard this before. I will only humbly apologize and try to keep you. But now, in the face of that power that could freely manipulate the size of matter, the ex-girlfriend's mockery seemed so small. Tonight, I'm going to get something. I finished. Hung up the phone directly. 7:30 p.m. I stood downstairs at the luxury apartment my ex-girlfriend rented. That one. Brother Lee. The Porsche Cayenne is parked in a prominent visitor parking spot. The car body gleamed with the gleam of money under the streetlights. I walked over. He patted the huge hood. He sighed. It's huge. The sound of a window opening came from upstairs. My ex-girlfriend poked her head out. He was carrying a black plastic bag. He was thrown straight down from the 3rd floor. The plastic bag fell at my feet. Inside were the dolls I gave her and a few old clothes. Take your junk and get lost. My ex-girlfriend called out from upstairs. Brother Lee beside her was holding her waist. She looked at me downstairs with a playful expression. I wasn't angry. He simply looked up at the 3rd floor window and gave a strange smile. And then, I pressed my hand on Porsche's wide front tire. Shrink. This time, I didn't hold back. Not just a little shrinkage. It's a miniature of dimensions. The original 21-inch bold wheels and tires. Within 0.1 seconds, it shrank down to the size of a Lego brick. Diameter less than 2 centimeters. The massive body lost its support, and with a thunderous crash, it plunged downward. The several-ton front end crashed heavily onto the concrete ground. The siren emitted heart-wrenching screams. The laughter upstairs abruptly stopped. But that's not all. I walked around the car. His fingers danced lightly, as if playing a piano. Left rear wheel. Shrink it down to a button. Right rear wheel. Shrink to coins. Steering wheel. Shrink to a ring. Exhaust pipe. Shrink it down to a straw. In less than 10 seconds. This luxury car, worth millions. He turned into a scrap metal monster lying on the ground. Now, that's narrow-minded enough. I waved at my dumbfounded ex-girlfriend. He turned and merged into the night. Behind, Li Ji's screech sounded like a pig being slaughtered. I had it in my pocket. On the way back to the rental apartment. He touched the huge peanut in his pocket. Suddenly, I started to feel a bit hungry. Since you can make things smaller. Could it be? Make money bigger. I took out my wallet. I stared at the last remaining 5 yuan bill. His eyes gleamed with greed. I quickly realized, my abilities are not omnipotent. At least for now. I couldn't put the number on the 5 yuan bill. Become. When I tried. Magnify, that 5 yuan bill. The banknotes have indeed grown larger. It turned into a giant banknote as big as a bedsheet. I speechlessly took this photo. 5 yuan sheets. Folded up. This thing can't be spent anymore. It could actually be used as a blanket. After a night of experiments, I have summarized this. Rules for using everything scaling ability. Primary version. Target restrictions. Currently, you can only zoom physical objects within your line of sight. Scale limitations. It can shrink to the level of dust particles invisible to the naked eye. It can be stored up to about 100 times its original value. Side effect. After each overuse of abilities, a certain part of the body randomly performs reverse scaling. For example now, I was looking at my left earlobe in distress. Just now, he had enlarged a pesky mosquito to the size of a helicopter. It was originally meant to make it easier to kill him. As a result, it was almost poked to death by a single of its leg hairs. At the cost, my left earlobe shrank to the size of a grain of rice. This ability is a bit of a useless ear. I rubbed my deformed ears in front of the mirror. Fortunately, long hair can cover it. Early the next morning, I still went to the company. Although he was late and ended up ruining the boss. But I haven't quit yet. What's more, I want to see the true face of those colleagues who usually bully me. Other than that, I need to check on the boss. After all, changing someone's mouth is a matter of a bit creepy. Just as he walked into the office, I just felt something was off. The usually noisy cubicle was now completely silent. Everyone was exchanging glances. The keyboard tapping was as soft as a thief. Su Ming, you dare to come. A sharp voice broke the silence. The speaker was Manager Liu from the administration department. One was in his 40s, menopausal women who usually like to use trivial feathers as a warning weapon. Her biggest hobby is deducting my attendance. Even if you're just 1 minute late, you'll have to lose 50 yuan. Manager Liu rushed up to me, pointing at my nose. President Zhao was hospitalized. I heard it was a rare form of human tissue atrophy. His mouth was all stitched up. Now the company is in a mess. You left the annual party early yesterday. Today, he dared to come right on time. I looked at Manager Liu's finger that was about to poke my own eye. Director Liu. I smiled slightly. He reached out and gently brushed her hand away. President Zhao was a bit tongue-tied. Does it mean? No one can scold me anymore. Manager Liu was stunned. This loser usually can't get a single fart out of a few strokes. How dare you talk back today? It's against you. Director Liu glared angrily. His right hand suddenly slammed the table. Believe it or not, I'll dock your entire monthly bonus. The slap was loud, but what came even louder was what came right after. Click. Sound. My gaze swept over the 4 legs of Supervisor Liu's desk. Right foreleg. Shortened by 10 centimeters. Just as Manager Liu slammed the table to borrow support. That thick table leg looked as if it had been amputated. It was suddenly shortened out of thin air. The huge desk instantly lost its balance. Sharply tilt to the front right. Supervisor Liu cried out in surprise. He slipped along with the table. Everything on the table, including her freshly brewed goji berry tea. Everything follows the laws of gravity, pouring everything out on her. Ouch! I burned me to death. My waist. Manager Liu fell to the ground in a panic. A few tea leaves were on his head. That pot of cactus was stuck right on her butt. The office was filled with a sense of oppression. Wanting to laugh, but not daring to. Flavorful. Sound. I stood aside, looking down at Supervisor Liu from above. An innocent expression appeared on his face. Sister Liu, your table quality is really bad. Has it shrunk? I felt like my right pinky had grown bigger, pushing the leather shoes until they hurt. The fork is a side effect. But, looking at Manager Liu's twisted face, I think, This little foot pain is worth it. President Zhao was hospitalized. Liu was in charge of work injuries. The company has no leader. But that doesn't mean my days are any better. The company temporarily assigned a business department member. King of Scrolls. Manager Zhang managed the operation. Manager Zhang has a particular trait. I just especially love meetings. And he likes to stand in chairs during meetings. Although we face turmoil in management. But business cannot stop. Inside the conference room, Manager Zhang stood in the boss's chair, waving his arms. Tonight, everyone stayed up all night. Produce the PPT for next quarter. Su Ming, go buy coffee for everyone. I want an iced American. Double the concentration. I sat in the corner. He twirled a pen in his hand. I glanced at the boss's chair under Manager Zhang's feet. It was a pneumatic lift chair with wheels. The base is a 5-claw type. The character for wheel. Reduce all by 50. My mind moved. The originally stable 5 wheels. It instantly became as small as a yo-yo. Manager Zhang was getting excited. I made one. The rock spreads its wings. Action. His center of gravity suddenly shifted. We are flying. Damn it. That chair felt like it had stepped on a banana peel. Slid backward with a sizzle. Manager Zhang slammed his butt hard. Manager Zhang. Colleagues hurried over to help him. I calmly wrote in my notebook. Buy coffee. Cancel. The next few days, I went wild playing at the company. I'm no longer a passive punching bag. Instead, it has become hidden in the shadows. The hand of God. It was a subtle and deadly blow to the entire office. Fine-tune. That chubby colleague who always sneaks snacks for me. I noticed my rice spoon suddenly doubled in size. It simply wouldn't fit into his mouth. I was so anxious that I was sweating profusely. That uncivilized guy who always crosses his legs on the table. I noticed that one of my shoes suddenly shrank by 2 sizes. Her feet were strangled like Zhongzi. He could only walk with a limp of tumors. The most outrageous is the big sister in the finance department who always loves card reimbursement forms. I put her font on her computer screen, permanently reduced to size 1. The eldest sister wore reading glasses and stared at the screen for a long time. In the end, tears streaming down her face, she approved the payment for me. It's too much to look at. Hurry up and take it away. I sat at my desk, looking at this office that once made me feel stifled to death. Now it has become a playground filled with absurd comedy. The fear disappeared. Instead, it's a thrill of having control over everything. But that's not enough. I looked out at the bustling CBD, looking at those towering office buildings and the beetle-like traffic below. Since it can change the size of objects, can that change the distance? Shorten the way home to just 1 step. Compare those lofty housing price numbers, reduced to a few decimal places. Just as I was reflecting on life, suddenly, someone appeared next to my workstation. It was one wearing a black trench coat, man in sunglasses. He was also holding a strange instrument. Scanning the air, the instrument emitted a message. Dididi, a rapid sound. At last, he poked his head straight into my pocket. There was that enlarged giant peanut. Mister. The man in black took off his sunglasses, revealing a pair of cold, gray eyes. The gravitational wave parameters of this peanut are incorrect. Have you illegally tampered with its Planck constant? I was stunned. What? Physics Correction Bureau. Special Operations Team. The man in black took out a document. It was a metal material I had never seen before. Light patterns flowed on it. You are suspected of illegally using reality-distorting abilities. This has seriously disrupted the physical laws of the region. Come with us. I looked at the man in black. There was only one thought in my head. This person's ID. Can it shrink so much that he can't find it? I didn't act immediately. My long career as a corporate drone taught me a lesson. Before figuring out the other party's background, don't rush to get the table ready. I pretended not to understand. He hid the giant peanut behind his back. Eldest brother, this is a new genetically modified variety I have grown. It's not listed yet. No matter how you farm, it's illegal. The man in black showed no expression. The instrument in his hand suddenly emitted a blue light, enveloping that peanut. Mass increases by 4,500. Density remains unchanged, but the intermolecular spacing is forcibly stretched. This is typical. Brood zoom, traces. The man in black coldly read the data. This is a low-level modification method. This leads to structural brittle of local spaces. If not recycled, this peanut could shrink into a miniature black hole within 48 hours. Devour this office building. My hand trembled. He almost threw the peanuts out. Black hole. So serious. You are LV1. Awaken ones, right? The man in black closed in step by step. It was full of pressure. Just awakened and already daring to mess around like this. Zhao's vocal cord micronization was also caused by you. You've completely altered the airflow speed in that area. Now he speaks with an ultrasonic sound. The dogs at home foamed at the mouth when they heard this. The colleagues around him seemed to have been hit on pause, maintaining a working posture without moving. No need to look at it. I locked onto the flow of time in this area. The man in black pulled out a pair of silver hands from his waist. This is reverse scaling force field. Hand. And was granted the rank of Xiaoman. Your abilities will be blocked. Come back with me obediently to get corrected. I looked at that pair of hands. An instinctive resistance rose in his heart. Get back. Correction. Does that mean he'll go back to being that bullied loser again? And then live a life where even breathing depends on others' moods? I'm not going. I took a step back, his back pressed against the desk. I can't help you. The man in black reached out and grabbed my shoulder. The moment the man in black's fingertips touched my collar, I moved. I didn't attack him, because my intuition tells me this person's body density may also have been adjusted. He might not be able to win. I turned my gaze to the distance between us. This is a new ability I vaguely discovered in my dreams so late. The prototype of the LV2 concept scaling, although still unstable. But now, they could only try desperate measures. At this moment, the distance between me and the door shrink. I'm wild inside. He suddenly tore his hand apart. It's like tearing open some invisible membrane. The space emitted a disgusting, twisting sound. The man in black was only 1 centimeter away from catching Jiawu. But at that very moment, my figure suddenly became blurry, elongated, followed by the surrounding scenery instantly turned into long strips of light. The next second, I knelt on the ground. He started to retch violently. I picked up my head. He found himself already standing at the entrance of a lobby on the first floor of the office building. And that man in black, still in the office on the 33rd floor. Teleport. I stared at my hands, still shaken. No, not teleportation. It's the physical distance from the 33rd floor to the first floor. At that moment, shrink. It was almost zero, but I haven't had time to rejoice before I can rejoice. The side effects came. My legs suddenly began to tremble violently. Her pant legs instantly became empty. I looked down. I was so frightened that I was disheartened. My 2 legs is shrinking at a speed visible to the naked eye. Become thinner. He was 1.8 meters tall. His eyes grew to 1.5 meters tall. Then there's 1.2 meters. Damn it. Reverse zoom. To shorten the distance. I was overdrawn. Length. The concept. Now the world is charging me interest. The security guard in the lobby stared in shock at this sudden appearance. Like a dwarf crushed by a road roller. Children. What about your parents? I want to cry without tears. She could only drag her 2 incredibly short little legs. He desperately shoved toward the door. And at this time, the window on the 33rd floor suddenly burst. The man in black crashed through the glass and jumped out. A pair of glider wings unfolded in the air, like a giant vulture, circling and locking onto me. The target escaped. Apply to initiate level 2 containment measures. The man in black pressed his earpiece and spoke coldly. I watched the dark shadows plunging down from the sky. He gritted his teeth. Since short runs aren't fast, then let something else be faster. He looked at an electric scooter delivering food by the roadside. Set the speed limit for this car. Magnify 100 times. That old food delivery electric bike, which originally had a top speed of only 25 kilometers per hour. I have given it to you. Speed limit amplified by 100 times. After the concept, the motor emitted a whistling sound similar to a jet plane engine. The rear wheels spun wildly on the ground. The white smoke from the friction instantly covered half the street. Followed by, the car body looks like a missile flying close to the ground. He shot out with a whoosh. The strong inertia nearly threw me off. Fortunately, I'm currently a 1.2 meter tall dwarf with a very low center of gravity. Her 2 short legs were tightly hooked onto the pedal. Oh, slow down. Slow down. Above the head, the black-clad Yuan, dressed in gliders, was crouching like an eagle trying to catch a chick. But the result hasn't landed yet. The man in black hovered in midair. Her eyes behind the sunglasses curled slightly. Modify kinetic energy parameters. This vehicle can't hold up. It really can't hold on. I quickly caught a whiff of burnt food. That was the smell of melted tire rubber and burnt motor coils. Although I don't have a system in my head. But I could clearly feel the seat cushion under my butt heating up. Stop. Stop for me. Reduce the speed. Shrink. I desperately turned the invisible knob to the left. But physical inertia doesn't just stop at will. Although the speed has slowed down, but the momentum remains. Immediately after, the front wheel of the electric vehicle exploded in the heat. The entire car spun wildly on the road like a spinning top. Roll. I was thrown out. It crashed heavily into a roadside greenbelt. I crawled out from the bushes. My head is covered in leaves and dirt. I looked down. Electric vehicles have turned into piles of burning scrap metal. And himself. It was only a minor scrape. Maybe it's because my body has become smaller. Therefore, the load-bearing area is also smaller. But I look so miserable right now. The most terrible thing is, because it was overused, speed amplification. The side effects came again. I felt a chill in my pants. I nervously pulled down my waistband to take a look. The face turned pale instantly. Damn it. No need to be so ruthless. If you don't count those 2 short legs that are still slowly recovering in length. The hair on my body, including hair, eyebrows, hair, all shrink to the point of being invisible. Right now, I look like a bare, white-cut chicken, shivering in the evening breeze. The Physics Correction Bureau, right? I'm not done with you. I stroked my bald head. Gritting his teeth, he crawled into a dark alley. 3 days later, in a private room at a cheap bathhouse on the edge of the city, I lay on the massage chair, wrapped in a bathrobe, holding a cup of soda for the chubby otaku. My leg has returned to its normal length. My hair has grown back a little, although it was only a layer of stubble, like a newly released prisoner in labor camp. These 3 days, I didn't dare go out. I've been hiding here to study my abilities. The words of the man in black inspired me. Modify gravitational wave parameters. Tampering with Planck's constant. This means my ability is not just to make things bigger or smaller. I can zoom in, just volume, and also concept. For example, last night, I found a bathroom center's Wi-Fi too slow. He tried to silently say something into the phone signal frame. Increase internet speed. But the phone was instantly overloaded. Downloading a 2G movie took only 0.1 second. The consequence is that the phone battery instantly overheats and swells. It almost exploded. I see. I muttered to myself. As long as I can understand perceivable concepts. In theory, it can be scaled. If so, I pulled a scraper out of my coat pocket that the waiter had bought on errand. Face value, 20 yuan. The top prize is 1 million yuan. Under normal circumstances, the odds of winning are about 1 in a million. I stare at the unpeeled cover film on the lottery ticket. Take a deep breath. Focus all your attention. This is much harder than controlling entities. I have to build in my brain. Probability. This abstract concept. Then grab the good one. Modify it. The odds of winning this ticket. Magnify. I felt a sharp pain in my head. It was as if someone was stirring inside the brain with a spoon. 2 streams of warm liquid came from his nostrils, a nosebleed. But I felt it. That represents luck, an elusive value. I forcibly pulled her up. Or, it was raised to 100. I wiped my nosebleed. With trembling hands, he took out a coin, scraped off the coating. Below is a line of small text. Congratulations on winning the prize. I collapsed into my chair, looking at that thin piece of paper. Laugh like a fool. With this ability. What Mr. Zhao? What an ex-girlfriend? What Li Gu? To me, it was all a joke. This is the dimensionality reduction strike. I don't need to go to work. No need to worry about their expressions. I can freely change my own life. Difficulty coefficient. Put it away. Hell mode. Reduced to a smaller size. Beginner's tutorial. Of course, the side effects are also immediate. I felt my vision was a bit blurry. I picked up my phone and checked myself in the mirror. Discover your own pupils. Shrunk to the size of a pinpoint. Seemingly, this is the cost of modifying probabilities. I squint at my pin-tip eyes. Stuff the lottery ticket into your pocket. But, for this first pot of gold, blindly spending a little time is worth it. I changed my clothes, put on sunglasses to hide those strange eyes. He strode out of the bathhouse. I want to go claim the prize. Having 1 million. Although not a top-tier tycoon. But it was enough for me to change my outfit. Rent a luxury car. Return with dignity to the neighborhood that once humiliated me. Of course, I didn't rent a car. I scanned a shared bike directly. Then put the bike on it. A sense of luxury. The concept is magnified 100 times. In the eyes of outsiders, it was still a yellow share bike. But just watch it. It feels even more prestigious than a Rolls-Royce. He exudes an aura that makes people want to kneel and worship. This is LV. 2. The terrifying nature of the ability. Cognitive interference. I rode this one. Emperor level. Share bicycles. He swaggered and parked right downstairs from his ex-girlfriend. Coincidentally, that Li Ji's Porsche is also there. Although last time I made the wheels disappear. But in the past few days, it was actually fixed. 4 brand new wheels have been replaced. Still standing in the middle of the road. Still holding his head high. His ex-girlfriend was walking downstairs arm in arm with Li Gu. The two chatted and laughed. Ouch. Isn't that Su Ming? My ex-girlfriend spotted me at a glance. He immediately revealed a mocking smile. How? What junk is Cha coming to get? Riding a beat-up bicycle. His ex-girlfriend's words got stuck in his throat. She stared at the share bike. His gaze gradually grew hazy. In her eyes, that car seemed to be made of pure gold. The seat is set with diamonds. The handlebars radiated a holy light. What kind of car is this? The ex-girlfriend instinctively let go of Li Ji's hand. He took a step toward me. Brotherly was also stunned. He considered himself someone who knew his stuff, but he had never seen a vehicle with such a powerful presence. That was truly the pinnacle of industrial design. It is the crystallization of human wisdom. Su Ming. Brotherly swallowed nervously. You made a fortune. A sneer curled up at the corner of my mouth. Getting rich is out of the question. I said lightly. I just feel my perspective was too narrow before. I want to change my way of life. I looked at Brother Li's proud Porsche. Brother Li, your car is pretty nice. Pity. I raised my finger. He pointed at the Porsche from afar. This car, value, shrink by 10,000 times. There was no physical change. The wheels didn't get smaller. The paint on the carriage had not peeled off. But in everyone's understanding, this car changed instantly. Originally, the luxury car logo represented wealth and status. At this moment, it looks like a low-quality sticker stuck on a tractor. The originally streamlined body. Now it looks full of rustic and cheap feeling. Oh my God. My ex-girlfriend suddenly covered her mouth. He looked at the Porsche with a face full of disdain. Brother Li, why are you driving such a junk car to pick me up? It's too embarrassing. Brother Li regretted it too. He looked at his beloved car. Suddenly, I felt it was incredibly ugly. It was even less pleasing to the eye than the trash bin next to it. My car. Brother Li stammered. His face was flushed. I can't wait to find a crack in the ground to get in. Break up. The ex-girlfriend decisively shook off Brother Li. Turned to look at me. Her face was full of a flirtatious smile. Su Ming, I knew you were a potential stock. Actually, I was just trying to motivate you before. I looked at this photo that once haunted my soul and dreams. But now all he could do was feel disgusted. Your skin, I said softly. Thickness reduced to 0. The next second, the ex-girlfriend's smile froze. She suddenly felt a bone-chilling cold, as if all the ugliness within her heart, greedy, vanity, all have lost their pretense. Exposed, naked to the air. Neighbors passing by. Security guard. The way he looked at her had changed. That was he who saw through her true nature. My ex-girlfriend screamed. Covering his face, he broke down and ran back to the hallway. I watched the scene with indifference. He didn't feel the pleasure he had anticipated. Instead, there was a hint of emptiness. It's so simple, manipulating the joys and sorrows of these mortals. It's as simple as pinching an ant to death. At this moment, my phone vibrated in my pocket. Not WeChat. It was an unfamiliar number. After connecting, the cold voice of the man in black came from across the table. Su Ming, you illegally alter your perception of reality, causing regional mental pollution. It was originally just a level C violation, now upgraded to B class. Physics Correction Bureau. Eliminate the squad. Already deployed. You can't run away. I looked up at the sky, the originally clear sky. At some point, some strange things appeared. Dead pixels. It's like the display screen is broken, revealing the pitch-black void behind them. I didn't run, because I realized I couldn't run anymore. The surrounding scenery began to show double images. Streetlight, tree, even a concrete floor beneath their feet. They all swayed as if they were on the waves of water. This is not within my ability. This is someone else's. 3 people wearing identical black trench coats, surrounded by a triangle, except for that sunglasses guy from before. The other 2 held strange metal scepters in their hands. The tip of the scepter glowed with a red glow. The reality anchor has been deployed. The man in sunglasses said into the earpiece. Spatial curvature locking. Time flow is locked. Concept definition locking. I try to activate my abilities. I want to shrink the hearts of these 3 people. But when I hold that invisible one, time. But it felt as if it had been welded shut. The lines are not moving. Don't waste your efforts. The man in sunglasses looked at me coldly. This is logic lock. In this field, causality is forcibly enforced. Any reality distorting ability is ineffective. You are an ordinary person now. My heart sank. Who are you? I asked. Physics Correction Bureau. Or rather, it is called Patch Group. The man in sunglasses closed in step by step. The universe is a sophisticated program. And you awaken beings. It's a bug in the program. What we do, it's about fixing bugs. Or, bug removed. Delete. I took a step back. The rear bumped into the car. Emperor level. Share bicycles. Your abilities are too dangerous. The man in sunglasses raised a gun with a sci-fi design. LV. 1. Shake the physics. LV. 2. Shake your understanding. If you evolve to LV, the underlying code of the entire dimension will be messed up by you. For the stability of the universe, please disappear. The dark muzzle of the gun was aimed at my forehead. There was no trial. No nonsense. Direct execution. I looked at the muzzle of the gun. The fear of death instantly overwhelmed me. But I don't want to die. I just got 1 million. Just put on a perfect score. Just experiencing the thrill of taking control of one's life. Why? Why do you say it's a bug, and it's a bug? My life. Is it only worth making a single line of deleted code? I'm not convinced. Anger burns in my chest. That burning sensation surged into his palm again. Since? Logic. Locked up. Then break the logic. Since? Reality. It was anchored. Then deny reality. My pupils suddenly contracted. The needle-tip-sized object suddenly exploded. It turned into a chaotic black. You locked on a space. I let out a hoarse laugh. Then if the space itself doesn't exist, I didn't try. Shrink. Those locks. Nor did he try. Shrink. Enemy. I pressed my hands down. In the void. That's what I sensed intuitively. Supporting this world. Canvas. This area. Presence. Shrink to 0. Warn. High-dimensional energy reactions detected. The numbers are off the charts. One of the men in black, holding the scepter, shouted in terror. He is attacking the underlying logic. He was trying to erase this coordinate. Fire. The man in sunglasses shouted. A blue beam shot out from the muzzle. Straight for my forehead. But just as the beam was about to strike, my figure shattered. No. The entire space shattered. Like a shattered mirror. The triangular area where I am. Along with that shared bike. Along with the cement bricks on the floor. It instantly shattered into countless pixels. Then it retracted inward into a black dot. The intense implosion produced a powerful shockwave. He sent all 3 men in black flying. When the smoke and dust disperse, that triangular area was reduced to a bottomless round pit. The edge cuts are as smooth as a mirror. I'm gone. Pain. Every cell in his body felt a tearing pain. I opened my eyes. Discovered that you are not dead, nor in that deep pit. I stood in a gray mist. The surroundings were eerily quiet. No rumors. No traffic noise. I bow my head. I found my body had become semi-transparent. It looks like countless glowing points of light. Where is this? I try to take a step forward. The gray mist beneath my feet dispersed. A scene emerged. Is that the street just now? But what I saw was not a normal street, but a still world.